Here's another setup of cards. If we look at the left top, which is the first column, you see that there are two jacks. There's a jack and a queen, both of diamonds. So we know it's two relatives, and they're young, or it's a mother and son, or brother and sister. And they'll be important in one day, week, or month because they come into light. Anything that comes up in a reading has some importance at the time. Uh, right under the female with the Queen of Diamonds is a Seven of Spades. So we're now concerned whether there's some kind of an issue with the female. It's probably not with the male because the Ten of Hearts is right under the male, but the fact that the Seven of Spades is under the female may be concerning. And also to her right is a dark card, which is the Jack of Spade. In the second column, in 2 days, weeks, or months, there's a younger and older man, male that comes up in the reading, so they'll have some important significance at that time. The third column, there's some gossip or something like that concerning a young male. There's some kind of intrigue or gossip, but because there's a jack of hearts right under the male, it's probably not that concerning to you. But because the two jacks line up, the jack of clubs and the jack of hearts, you don't know if you want to be associated with the person or not. So there's some question of personal association. Now, in the fourth column, there's a new friendship. We have two queens, one on top of the other, and there's a change in personal plans with some slight delays. The Seven of Clubs is a change in plans with some delays. And the delays may be due to an illness, because right below the Seven of Clubs is the Ten of Spades. So somebody being sick or ill may change some plans. In the fifth column, which is the Ten of Hearts, and next to the Seven of Spades, the Seven of Spades is on top. The first card is considered on the bottom, the Ten of Hearts, and above it is the Seven of Spades. And there's some delayed future plans that never seem to get off the ground, and the delays will be for now on. The way the Seven of Spades is usually interpreted as the plans will not come about. In the sixth column, there's an adult male, and there's some wedding news or news of a gathering that will be significant at the time. In the eighth column, it says for sure. It's the Nine of Clubs, and that means for sure. And it shows a young male. But again, there's some indecision on whether somebody wants to be with or around the person. So sometimes there's a dealing with somebody, but we don't know if we really want to be associated with them. In the eighth column, which is the Queen of Clubs and the Ten of Spade, there's something about an illness around a female. And because the Eight of Hearts is right below the illness, it might not affect you that much or be somebody too close to you. Now, when we look at the ninth column, which is the two eights, there's some kind of trip that comes up that seems to be a normal, regular trip. Now, sometimes trips are quests. A quest is you go somewhere, and the significance of going there even outweighs how far you go, like going to a doctor or a lawyer or an appointment, an important meeting or date or something like that. Sometimes the importance of the situation outweighs the distance. Now, in the 10th column, we see two nines side by side, alternate colors. There'll be a change in a business situation or a work situation, but it'll have the same effect as the original. Now, in the 11th column, there's a lot of money that seems to come up, and there's a change in times at the same time. Now, the seven's a little out of place. Usually, the seven with the Zola system never goes in the first column. In this case, I have it in the first column, but actually, when I usually use it, I don't go through that whole process, which Zola wanted. He wanted the card after the seven to be the seven to be an indicator card, and you take the card after the seven and place it in the first box or on the bottom in each case. And once you fill up the 12 cards of the entire bottom, then you put the second card, whatever it is, even if it's a seven on top. But that's fine. You can. I explained it. So there's a change in times going on in 11 days, weeks, or months, and in the 12 days, weeks, or months, there's somebody helping out with a work or a business situation, and again, a neutral change in times. This is how we evaluate the various cards. And if you notice, there's a lot of double cards. To the bottom left, the two eights, right next to it, the two nines. In the 10th spot, you got the two tens in the 11th and 12th spot. You got two queens in the fourth and eighth spot. The two queens vertical on one on top of the other. So you see, the double cards really do spice up this type of a reading. It makes it more interesting that way.